To establish that, Mr. Depp has to prove the following elements. He has to prove the publication of the op-ed and that it was written by Ms. Heard.
Amber has mistakenly missed an important deadline for her appeal, even though Amber Heard had filed for a notice of appeal against her ex-husband Johnny Depp, but has missed the deadline to file the actual appeal. So how did this happen? 2 months after a Virginia jury handed the ex-Pirates of the Caribbean star a big win in his multi-million-dollar defamation trial against his ex-wife and Rum Diary co-star, Heard officially informed the court that she planned to appeal the verdict. Please take notice that defendant and counterclaim plaintiff Amber Laura Heard, pursuant to Rule 5.9 of the Rules of the Supreme Court of Virginia, hereby gives notice of her appeal to the Virginia Court of Appeals from this court's June 24, 2022 final judgment order, the July 13, 2022 order on defendant and counterclaim plaintiff Amber Laura Heard's post-trial motions order, and from all additional orders and rulings by the trial court prior to the entry of the final judgment order and post-trial motions order, said the 3-page filing in the Old Dominion. After the appeal notice, Amber's team was expected to file their appeal by September 4th, which they failed to do. On the other hand, Johnny's team was able to file their appeal in order to kickstart the process. A fan took to Twitter to share an explosive update about the appeal process, which according to them is going to take place in 2 parts. The first part will be to assemble the trial court record and identify issues on appeal, while the second part will be about briefing the issues on appeal. The Twitter user then went on to discuss the schedule of appeals, whereby the involved parties have 60 days from the date of defamation judgment to supplement the record with transcripts. Afterwards, Amber, who is the non-filing party, has 15 days to object to the transcripts filed, and then the appellant, who is JD in this case, has 40 days to submit his brief after the appeal record is filed. Following this, Amber will then get 30 days to submit her brief, and after which Depp can submit a reply brief within 14 days. This Twitter thread was flooded with comments from other fans, some of whom were asking what exactly this means. So Johnny's got the paperwork in on time and she hasn't, and I'm understanding this correctly, one fan asked. Does this mean his appeal report has been received and hers not yet, despite she filed her notice first? A second fan questioned. What is the difference between an appeal brief and a record? A third fan asked, and received a response from another Twitter user saying, the appeal brief is what law they think the trial court got wrong and their arguments supporting their stance. The record is all the transcripts and objections and rulings and documents from the trial itself. Other fans came to the conclusion that Amber was unable to file her appeal in time due to other financial legal battles she's currently facing. I believe AH is having a hard time with the funding for all this. She's upset that she can't get the insurance companies to pay anything. Well, don't commit intentional malice, one fan wrote. Amber's insurance has recently taken legal action against her. Heard's insurers suing the actress in Los Angeles, alleging in federal court that the actress's policy does not cover any of the $8.3 million in losses ex-husband Johnny Depp won against her in their highly publicized defamation trial. While Amber had a $1 million liability policy with New York Marine and General Insurance Company, the policy does not cover willful misconduct, which is exactly what the jury in the defamation case found she was liable for. In its lawsuit, New York Marine is asking a federal judge to order that the insurer be absolved of any duty to pay for Heard's defense in the defamation case, that it not be required to pay the multi-million-dollar judgment Depp won against her, and that it not have to pay any costs of ongoing litigation associated with an appeal. Amber is now claiming that the insurance company threw her under the bus, but fans are not convinced that this is the case. No one threw AH under a bus. They're just holding her accountable for her fraudulent, calculated, manipulative, and basically criminal actions. That's it, not betraying her. She's the only one that's been betraying everyone, one fan commented. Another fan added, let us get this in perspective. Her insurance company has not thrown her under the bus, so much as not let themselves be taken for an extended ride on Amber's special bus. She has moved all her finances around in order to avoid paying JD if she can get away with it. While a third fan commented, I don't feel sorry for Amber Heard in the least, as this was a mess of her own making. AH has done some horrendous things. No doubt there's far more than we'll ever know about, and she's reaping all that she sowed. She had the world in the palm of her hand. Johnny truly loved her and would have done anything to keep her happy. But no, she humiliated him in every way she could. I also believe that she played Elon, abused Whitney, and everyone else that comes into her path. May have caused the divorce between Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet. Who the is stupid enough to start an on-set feud with Nicole Kidman of all people? She's scorched earth. Months ago, a laborious defamation trial pitting Johnny Depp against his ex-wife Amber Heard ended with a split verdict. The jurors found that Heard had defamed Depp in an op-ed and that one of Depp's lawyers defamed Heard. A day after Heard filed notice that she would appeal the verdict, Depp's lawyers fired back with an announcement that they too would appeal. The Virginia jury handed down a verdict on June 1st that Heard had defamed Depp by describing herself as a domestic abuse survivor in a 2018 op-ed published in the Washington Post. They also found that one of Depp's lawyers defamed Heard by characterizing her accusations as a hoax. Depp claims he lost his part in Pirates of the Caribbean as a result of the op-ed, and the jury awarded Depp a far higher award, $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages, the latter of which was reduced to the statutory maximum of $350,000 for a total of $10.3 million. Heard was awarded $2 million compensatory damages and no punitive damages. Depp's attorneys followed up by filing a 2-paragraph notice that they would appeal all adverse rulings from the final judgment, signed June 24th by Fairfax County Chief Circuit Court Judge Penny Askrit. Ben Chu, lead attorney for Depp, declined to comment. Heard's notice of appeal was expected, as her legal team had confirmed that it was in the works. But Depp's appeal came as a surprise to one of Heard's attorneys. I think Depp's team felt so buoyed by the judgment, they viewed Heard's verdict as insignificant in comparison to what they obtained, said Elaine Bredehoft, lead attorney for the Aquaman actress. She said she felt confident in the strength of their case on appeal. Jurors found that 3 statements from Heard's op-ed defamed Depp. Statement number 1, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. Statement number 2, then 2 years ago I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. Statement number 3, I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. Apart from the 3 statements, they also found that Adam Waldman, one of Depp's attorneys, defamed Heard with this statement. Quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt didn't do the trick. The officers came to the penthouse, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed up the place, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911. In the weeks that have come and gone since that trial, Heard's legal team has filed motions asking that the verdict be set aside. They argued that Depp's $10.3 million award was unsupported by evidence and claimed that at least one juror was not properly vetted by court officials. However, Judge Askrit denied those motions. As for fans, they've now grown tired of the never-ending Johnny Depp-Amber Heard legal battles. I've reached a point now where I had enough of Miss Amber Heard. It's the same old me. I would rather watch Judge Judy these days. At least she's funny and witty, one fan commented. The legal battle between Depp and Heard has caused a stir of emotions throughout the internet, and we'd like to let our viewers know that the opinions shared in this video in no way reflect our own and are in no way meant to harm either Amber Heard or Johnny Depp. But now we would love to hear from you. Do you think Amber Heard has a shot at winning the appeal case? Let us know in the comments section below. And as always, thanks for watching.